I don't think anybody in compliance should have a problem.
No, I don't have a problem. I'm defending our citizens who are being bullied by this county.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't see anything in this
No, of
letter
course you
that-
don't see it. That's
that's
why everybody
bullying,
calls me
you know.
instead of you.
I've got another idea why they call you, but I don't, nothing, if I had received that letter, I mean, when the lady called last year and wanted to look at my property and said they needed to review it, I didn't feel like I was being bullied by our zoning department.
And I'm unaware
I mean,
of what
that's-
happened
that
in that
sounds reasonable
situation.
to
I just
me.
know
I
what
mean-
these three citizens here have
Could I ask a
experienced.
question, please? I don't understand a lot of this stuff. I'm just learning how to fly, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. And I own 5 acres north of town. And if I wanted to land my airplane on my own property, do I have to get some kind of super permission?
I'm not sure. I'm assuming the zoning department could tell you that. I'm not sure what.
And it depends on what type of aircraft
Can I just mow my
you have
grass
also.
and land my airplane there?
Depends on what type of aircraft you have and what the state regulations are linked with, clearances. But yes, this is not, you just can't land your airplane there, your airplane there unless
You
it's
can't?
approved. I don't believe so.
Well, I'd like to think that
No,
the
I was
ordinance. and-
directly told that because I posed the same question, can I land my own? And I was told no. That it has to be reviewed.
I'd like to think that whatever ordinance is in place, part of it's, at least part of the reason is for the safety of the citizens in the county. I would like to think there's something in that thought process that's involved with the ordinance, whether it be a county or FAA regulations or anything else. I don't know if it's safe for you to land your airplane on a piece of ground and mow cut the grass down. I don't know that.
If
I'm
they're,
assuming somebody does, and it does.
like if I'm,
Our state's attorney would like to say something.
I was asked last week by Davina and Maxine how Davina should respond to Mr. Answer's directive that she come to this meeting. I did type up a response. I was hoping, since the airport issue was settled, that we didn't have to go down that road, but if we do have to go down that road when Mr. Answer's attacking Davina and me indirectly, Mr. Answer's property has had some issues with zoning. In fact, we were in court with him last year because the Red Barn for years had been operating illegally. So I believe that's where some of this animus starts from. But if you don't start dragging in zoning officers and investigators when you're not happy with something.
Well, I'm not saying this,
And that's
but
why
when
we
we
were
get a
just-
letter that says Mitch and Amy got married at my barn, and it takes me 15 seconds to do a Google search and find out that that big round barn is in Fort Collins, Colorado. That's an embarrassment to anybody that has their hands on that.
Can I ask a question? How long ago was it that you got that letter?
That's what
Was
I
that
told.
just
It
recently?
was January 10th. January 10th. And I had to get my attorney to write a letter, and I'm saying, okay, yes, I have the means to do this. But what about Joe Blow, Mercer County citizen out there that doesn't have the means to do that? That's intimidation.
It's not
And,
intimidation.
that is tyranny. We shouldn't have this bullying on this, especially
Okay,
the.
that's enough, that's enough. This isn't a political campaign.
It's not a political
This is a
campaign, it's
camp-
about bullying the
This is a county
citizens.
board meeting.
And you're just
If we
causing
hadn't
county
let the Red
business.
Barn illegally for 2 years, maybe we wouldn't be worried about the
And
Red Barn.
it's not the issue of that,
Ooh, that
it's the
sounds
fact of this
retaliatory.
trend that goes on of
A little
incompetence.
retaliatory.
I mean, I would not want to have my name written on that letter, would you, Mr. McHugh? Like you did.
If an issue arises, we send a letter. If it's fine, it's fine.
You don't do research on this?
We knew you ran a Red Barn illegal thing for 2 years.
You can't read Fort Collins, Colorado? My God, that's embarrassing.
And so is running something illegally for 2 years.
We didn't run it illegally for 2 years, and I'm talking about the fact that you wrote me a letter that said 2 people got married in my barn, and they're from Fort Collins, Colorado. That's incompetence.
Yeah,
Can we
yeah.
move on?
I'm
I'm
done.
tired of the grandstanding, let's move on.
Is
Okay.
there
always-
anything
it's
to
always
answer this man's question here at the meeting tonight about his ability to land the airplane? Or does he need to answer right to the zoning?
Someone's gonna pull a zoning code up.
Okay.
Depends how it's zoned and,
Yeah.
is it a strip or a one-time thing? I don't know.
We'll have to get that answered officially for you, sir.
There might be some FAA regulations.
Post 9/11, there's gonna be FAA regulations.
I didn't know we had airstrips till last year.
Okay, number 5, law enforcement, Mr. Porter.
I'd like to submit the minutes from the June 27th meeting as written.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 6, Health Department, Mr. Ansel.
Yeah, I'd like to approve the health department meeting notes from June 19th.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 7, hospital, Mr. Roots.
Hospital Governing Board met on June 18th, and the minutes are in the packet. I'd like to move at this time we accept as printed.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
In the last paragraph of the hospital minutes, you'll see that during the meeting, we discussed the budget procedure at the hospital. Normally, we would have had a budget passed by the hospital governing board to present to the board for their approval. At this meeting, due to the fact that they were operating under the consideration at the hospital that they'd be under the Genesis budgeting process, they took a little longer than normal to get the budget ready. They approved at the finance meeting, they approved the budget for the hospital on the 29th. And what we have in front of us here is the final budget, subject to, and you said there may be some tweaking, Ted, or is it all?
No, it's finalized and just contingent upon your approval and then the hospital board as well.
All right. And at this time, I'd like to move that we approve the 2012-2013 hospital budget for the hospital.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 8, nursing home, Mr. Haynes.
Maxine, can I give a quick update hospital-wise? Because
Yes.
I did send out an email to you after the last board meeting, I just want to make sure everybody did receive that. There has been a further dialogue with the Health Facilities Planning Board on our certificate of exemption. They had a few clarifying questions for us on the big packet that we sent to them, citing the legal documentation as well as their own rules that an option is only legal until that option is exercised. So they had a couple of cleanup, follow-up questions, and we're still waiting to hear from them to get that issue resolved. If we can get it resolved by mid-August, we will be able to be on their October board agenda, so that's what our goal is. And they have referred it to their external attorneys, so they've moved it from the staff to outside counsel, which hopefully will help facilitate things a little bit quicker with them. And then the other update that I had for you was on due diligence. We've essentially completed all of the due diligence review for both the hospital and the nursing home. On the hospital side, we did come across some Medicare analysis that we're going to have to take a deeper dive into, and we met with Greg and Carla Steele, right, Carla?
Yep.
Your outside counsel, to kind of bring them up to speed on that Medicare receivable analysis. We need to engage an outside attorney to come in and give us the blessing on that analysis, and so the hospital will take that on, but Greg did give us the recommendation to use a firm out of Chicago to do that. So we'll take that to the hospital board at our meeting in 2 weeks to get that approval to do that.
You know, they gotta review like 10 years of Medicare records, and if there's anything gray or incorrect or needs to be explained, that you have to do that within 60 days, so they're gonna retain this firm, that's basically all they do.
Is this just on our facility or is this on Genesis facilities?
It's just on.
Just
the
on
hospital.
Mercer.
Just on Mercer, okay.
And it's just on Medicare receivable?
Yes.
Well, and leases and whatever's going on there the last 10 years. Anything they find's gotta be corrected, sale or no sale.
Any questions from you? Thank you.
Okay, number 8, nursing home, Mr. Haynes.
Before you have a outline of the minutes of the Mercer County Nursing Home meeting,
I so propose to
Yeah.
move that we accept this.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The extension.
Oh,
It's not new. You got it in the comments packet from last week.
did I?
It's just extension for a year.
Okay, the extension, management service agreement, was presented and extended 1 year, is that right, Ted?
No, just through the end of the calendar year, so.
Oh, through the end of the
6
calendar
months.
year?
Correct.
And
Our
this
hope
was
is that we have it
passed-
closed by then.
This was passed at finance.
What is the holdup specifically? What is it?
I did send you an email on it. The Illinois Health Facilities Planning Board has deemed our application incomplete because they're concerned that the negotiated agreement we had back in November of 2010, where we negotiated to have an option on the hospital purchase, was actually the transfer of ownership in their mind, according to the staff. That was the staff's opinion. And that we should have approached them at that time and asked for their blessing to change ownership. And the attorneys are just befuddled by their interpretation of that. It's not, I mean, it's definitely clear in the law, it's clear in their own rules that ownership only changes after that option is exercised. County still controlled it, the local hospital board still controlled decision-making, and they are mistaken on their interpretation.
It
So
won't
that's
be
what the
related to
whole
more
thing
than hopefully, right? They won't.
is. Well, yeah.
It is a state of Illinois.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 9, transportation, Mr. Elliott.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes as sent.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I'd like to make a motion